The Odyssey, Book 1, lines 1 to 127. By Homer, circa 8th century BC. Translated from Greek by Mike Solot. Translator's note. The Odyssey, Book 1, exemplifies an essential feature of Homer's art as a storyteller. The way he composes the books of his epics as wholes, each with its own beginning, middle, and end. The man, Muse. Tell me the tale of that man who survived on his wits, driven afar in his wanderings after he looted the citadel sacred to Troy. So many cities he saw and minds he mastered. So many heartbreaking sorrows he suffered at sea, as he struggled to save his own life and bring his men home. But not even he could protect them, hard though he tried. His shipmates were reckless, the fools, dooming themselves by gorging on cattle they stole from the pastures of Helios, god of the sun, who darkened their homecoming day. Begin where you will, goddess, and sing for us, too. After the others returned, those who had lived through the havoc of war and escaped the abyss of the sea, one man alone was left longing for home and his wife. He was held in the caves of Calypso, a ravishing nymph, an immortal who desperately wanted to make him her husband, and did, through year after year as the seasons kept turning until they had come to that autumn ordained by the gods for his voyaging home. And there, even on Ithaca, back among people he loved, he would still be in danger and still have to fight, so the gods now took pity. They all did. Except for Poseidon, the sea god who'd boil and rage until mighty Odysseus stepped on his homeland at last. But Poseidon was gone, far away, called to a feast by remote Ethiopians, people whose faces are burnt. They live at the ends of the earth, divided in two. One tribe where Helios rises, and one where he sets. They'd sacrificed hundreds of rams and bulls to Poseidon. So while he was lingering there, taking his pleasure, the other gods gathered together to meet in assembly, crowding the halls of the father of men and immortals, Olympian Zeus. And he was the first one to speak, for thoughts of Odysseus still rankled inside him, his crimes and his death at the hands of that famous avenger, Orestes. Mortals, he boomed at the others, always complaining and blaming the gods for whatever afflicts them. Pah! They do it themselves. Their wantonness hurts them far worse than the evils they're fated to suffer. Just look at Aegisthus. It wasn't his fate to go after and marry a woman already the wife of the king, Agamemnon, then trick him and trap him and kill him the day he came home from the war. Aegisthus well knew it meant death. We'd already warned him a long time before when we sent down a message with Hermes. Don't woo the wife, he had told him, and don't slay the king, or Orestes the son will grow into manhood and come for you seeking revenge. So Hermes had told him, trying to help, but he just wouldn't listen. And now he has paid for it all. His gleaming-eyed daughter Athena cried, "O son of Kronos, your majesty, highest and mightiest, father of all. Yes, that dog died the death he so richly deserved, and so should they all, the wretches who do what he did. But Odysseus, far from his loved ones, is trapped on an island alone in the sea, at the eye of its spiraling whirl. The poor man is just wasting away. It's tearing my heart. The island is wooded and home to a daughter of Atlas, that sinister titan who braces the pillars of heaven while scanning the waters for secrets that lurk in the deep. It's his daughter who's holding Odysseus. Day after day, she seductively coos at him, casting a spell with her sweet talk to make him forget about home. But he'd rather be dead. He's aching for Ithaca, sick with a longing to see it, even a glimpse of the smoke puffing up from its shore. Now, didn't Odysseus honor you year after year, doing the rites by his ships on the beaches of Troy? He worshipped you, Zeus. Why do you hate him so much?" Zeus of the thunder had rumbled and scolded her. "Child, the drivel that flies from your mouth. How can you think I'd forget such a hero? His mind is unmatched among mortals, and no man on earth ever offered so many sweet victims as gifts for the undying gods, the lords of the sky. It's Poseidon, the Earthshaker, Still in a rage at your favorite for reaming the eye of the Cyclops, the son he begot by that sea nymph, Thoosa, a daughter of salty old Phorcys, lord of some churning abyss. Deep in a grotto she lay with Poseidon, and later she bore him a son, Polyphemus, the biggest and strongest of all the Cyclopes. So Earthshaker hates him, Odysseus, for blinding his son. He doesn't dare kill him, but won't let him land on his island, making him wander instead. So let's all think together and help him get home. My brother Poseidon is strong, but he'll have to let go of his wrath. He can't stand alone against all the immortals, defying the will of the gods. Athena's gray eyes were aglow. "Oh, Father," she said, "Your Majesty, Master of all, if it pleases the gods that Odysseus find his way home, send Quicksilver Hermes to fly down as fast as he can to the island Ogygia, and tell her, this nymph with the love locks, our ruling is final. Stalwart Odysseus must be allowed to return. I'll handle his son on my own. I'll go down at once to embolden the boy. I'll quicken the courage inside him and get him to summon the Ithacan lords to assembly. The commoners too, so he can denounce all those suitors who day by day slaughter more sheep from his clustering flocks and more of his lumbering, foot-flopping, spiral-horned beeves. Then after the meeting I'll send him to Pylos and Sparta for news of his father's return. He may not learn much, but he'll mingle with men of the world and begin to be known." She bent down to tie on her radiant, sweet-smelling sandals. Woven of gold, they wafted her far over waters and endless horizons of earth on a breath of the wind. Then she picked up her powerful spear. It was big, solid, heavily shafted and pointed with finely edged bronze. The very same weapon she wields against heroes in battle whenever they anger this daughter of Almighty Zeus, and she smashes their lines in a rage. She leapt from Olympus to Ithaca, landing in front of the house of Odysseus, right at the steps leading down from the porch to the yard, still holding her spear, but now in the likeness of Mentes, a Taphian chief, and a family friend from before. Suitors were sprawled out on hides of the cattle they'd killed, relaxing, betting on knuckle bones, passing the time while their heralds and henchmen were busy at work in the hall, blending the water and wine, arranging the tables, sponging them down, and laying on plenty of meat. Telemachus noticed her long before anyone else. He was sitting surrounded by suitors, anxiously brooding, imagining how they would run if his father appeared. If only he'd come out of nowhere and scatter these wooers, he said to himself. I would finally get some respect. My wealth would be mine to enjoy. Lost in these daydreams, he jumped when he first saw Athena and rushed to the porch, ashamed that a stranger should stand at his doorway so long. He accepted her spear, clasped her right hand in his own, and ushered her into the house, winging his words. "Welcome, dear stranger. Please come inside as my guest. After you've eaten, you'll let me know how I can serve you." Pallas Athena stepped into the hall with her host.